All right.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, and I didn't get any input today via email. There is a Lizette Velasquez on the Zoom. I'm not sure if she has public input, but I'll turn it over to you, Dan, to go ahead and get started.
That's Mark's way of kindly saying we're done with stories, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. I like the story. So we'll call the November 17th meeting of the Munster Parks and Recreation meeting to order. We have enough members present. We'll start with public input. Is there anyone in the public or watching via Zoom or any other method willing or wanting to speak? If so, let us know somehow.
I'll just introduce myself. My name is Lisette. I am a student at ISU and I'm a recreation sports management major, so I'm required to attend a park sports meeting for a class. So that's why I'm here today.
Oh, welcome.
Great. Welcome.
Glad you could be here. I wish there was more excitement here at this meeting, but good that you could get your course credit there. Thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else? We will then be done with public input. We will move on to the park board minutes of the meeting that I missed on November 3rd. Anyone have any clarifications, adjustments, or anything?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been approved by Mike and seconded by Dave that we approve the minutes as presented for November 3rd. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 And anyone opposed, it doesn't appear as though that's the case, so motion passes. We'll go on to the voucher list. It appears as though we have two separate vouchers or registers, 11C and 11D. Anyone have any questions on either one of those?
No, they're
No.
pretty short and sweet.
Okay. So I'll take that as a motion from Dave to approve. I'm still trying to get that world record, Dave.
I know you
You missed it.
I said it long
You missed
ago.
the
You'll
last
never
meeting.
beat that. It could be Mark's first meeting that I said it was like 3 minutes and he was like, this is great.
Oh, I'll second it.
All right, we got it seconded. Any discussion, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 And any opposed? No opposed, so the vouchers pass unanimously. We'll go to the Parks and Recreation Department report. So that's Mark, I think.
Yep.
Yes, that will be me. Trying to do this here in the meeting room, run the control of that board for us here and make sure that I'm on top of things here. So as far as the report goes, you have a written report in your packets. I'm just going to highlight a few things. The very first thing that was on there was the Circle Park. I have good news to report there. Actually, the material came in and they did the install yesterday. So as of yesterday afternoon, that park is finally complete. It's taken
Finally,
a while,
yay.
but we finally got to that finish line. So, and then when they were finishing there, they were going over to deal with what's left over at Elliott School, but that's not your matter, or at least our Circle Park with the new slide or the replacement slide of something we were unsatisfied with has been repaired and replaced. So we're happy to see that that's finally there. Maybe we'll have a 60-degree day later this week so kids can get out there and play on it. So we also continue to work on, and hopefully we'll have these at one of your next meetings in December, new agreements for Billy Casper Golf. We will have the attorney review those to extend those leases or agreements by another 5 years for both the Central Community Park concessions and Centennial Park operations. Working with NIPSCO on a rebate for the LED lighting project that was done about a year ago. We're hopeful, or I'm hopeful, that this is going to be a substantial rebate. I think it may approach $20,000. So hopefully that will come through. The I am gonna have to ask for them to approve an exception, because if it was gonna be more than 10,000, it was supposed to be pre-approved, so cross our fingers, hopefully we'll have a good rebate coming if they approve it, because we did do the work that they were asking for, which typically would grant that type of a rebate. The governor's announcement last week and the executive order that came out last Friday, I guess we've come used to these a little bit. It's just kind of very fluid, and get used to the changes, and we're constantly adjusting that. Fortunately, because of the time of year and the lack of being able to use a lot of school facilities, we don't have a lot of activities that this affects direct for us. The biggest area that it does affect are rentals, typically at the social center, and then of course for out at Centennial for the banquets and so forth. So being in a orange designated county right now, we can go up to 50 people. If we wanted to exceed that, we'd have to submit a plan to the Lake County Health Department. We don't see a need to do that on our end of things. Andrew, through Billy Casper Golf, is going to potentially seek that to give them some flexibility, but as they update that county map every week, unfortunately, I wish I could say it's probably gonna get better. Being a little pessimistic, we think that it may be getting worse here in the near future, but as I said, we don't have a lot of activities going on, so we're just kind of learning to live with it and kind of flow week to week as those updates come out. The park rentals overall for the year, just wanted to kind of give you an idea. We're down about 53% for facility rentals. This includes Heritage Park, the pool rentals, the social center, the various shelter rentals that we have. So as you can expect, as we obviously had reported earlier this fall on the results of the pool and those numbers being down as well from previous years. Park maintenance side of things, lots of winterizing processes going on. Water's off in most of the parks where we don't have heat to keep it from freezing the lines in the buildings and so forth. Irrigation's turned down in every place that we have irrigation at, including the golf course, which just wrapped up last week. Nets are down and on most of our volleyball, or actually all of our volleyball courts, tennis courts, and our batting cages have been dropped down. Maintenance is mulching leaves out in the parks. The umbrellas are down at the pool and over at Centennial Park. Memorial trees are being planted this time of year. Continuing general park facility maintenance, and doing that all with, we're back to work at 100% now, but we did have 2 guys out. I know I emailed you guys individually that we did have 2 COVID cases. They were quarantining and so forth that were, but as of today, everybody is back and we're at 100% as of right now. So,
Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just have a question. This
Yeah.
is Mike. Do we have, in light of the governor's things, do we have anything that we have to change as far as holiday stuff? And I don't have it in front of me. Some of the events that were any of those in person events that we had that we have to, are we changing anything?
Anything from our event wise, we don't think that there will be any changes. It's based at 50 people. We wouldn't have anticipated more than 50 people at any of our holiday events. So that, I think from our perspective, there really is no change. We kind of fortunate that way. If this was fall and those Halloween events were coming up, yeah, we would have probably had to make some definite changes, but it's kind of a little bit of a fortunate time for us that way.
I mean, Mark, the only thing that I have, and I understand exactly, and I emailed you earlier about it. I had some calls about tennis nets at the high school because in light of all the events that people have to sort of stay outside, they were hoping that they would be up a little later. But if it is already put away, it is put away. I mean, I guess tennis players are as hardy as golfers when I see golfers out at the golf course too. So
yeah. I'm going to talk to Kevin and see if we can get maybe at least 1 or 2 of those up back in that area in those heavier spots there. And even if we do it for a month or a few more weeks here and taking them back down, based upon the weather, because it does look like we're gonna hit a little bit warmer weather again later this week. So if we can, and maybe we'll even follow it up with a social media blast just to say, hey, we've taken them down for winter, but yet here's where, if you want to play, you can go to those particular locations, just to give that as an option.
If it's determined to be okay and you guys have a bunch of stuff you're doing, I mean, but I would just say do the high school just because it's a central location. You don't have to, I wouldn't say go to, wherever to Bluebird, Grove or to Frank Hammond. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, I think if you did the high school, I don't think there's gonna be that many players, but I think I got enough phone calls that people are like, I can't play tennis now. I'm like, I don't play tennis to begin with, so I'm really hard for me to understand, but.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to put that out there, and then we'll put a little blast about it wherever we're able to get one or two of them up to give some more opportunity here later in the year.
Thanks.
Mark, I have a question regarding the cameras at the bathrooms and the storage rooms.
Yes,
Did we have cameras there before?
we did not. We had the.
Now we had damage, I believe before you came, did we have damage there?
Yeah.
Any other board member? Yeah.
Yes.
I
The Babe
thought-
Ruth
Okay, I know
one.
we talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
Babe
thought we
Ruth one
installed
suffered
those.
damage. Sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna add those out there. I think that is a plus. Unfortunately, can't put them inside the bathrooms. But, you can at least catch the people kind of who's going and who's in and who's coming out. So if it can be, from that point, that's where the investigators usually jump in and do the rest of it. If it do have the serious issues like the fires or, the vandalism that can occur.
Well, I think they helped that community since we've done that. I think, Jill, isn't that correct? Probably.
That,
Vandalism cut back.
yes.
Yeah, the vandalism is definitely cut back. Yep, at community. for
Right.
sure.
And then one other question regarding those floor cracks in the basement. Are those getting larger or are we just in the basement over there?
I don't believe that they are. I think it's just a continual thing where you want to make sure
Okay,
that you're sealing up the building. But from my last tour, when I went through it with Kevin and some of the guys over there, it didn't seem to be that they're getting larger, at least not noticeably larger. I've only been here a few months, but from that perspective, I haven't. I will check.
That-
and find out.
That's what I've heard as well, Mark.
Yeah.
That the movement has basically stopped.
Yeah,
okay, good. Thank you.
sure.
I had a quick question on I saw something in here about Dave's tree service. Those aren't bid out jobs, right?
No, we did quote them out. We called and got a couple of prices on things, but that was who we, because of that being a smaller amount of trees that were getting removed, we did start with them. That is something the council did award a tree project or a tree maintenance earlier this calendar year to Dave's Tree Service, but and I think that was also one of the reasons that we made sure to contact them since they had that opportunity. These were specific trees there's one right in the middle of the baseball fields at Community Park that's kind of dead, dying, right in the middle of center field of field, I think that's A, on the baseball field area there. There was one right on top of Caskey House that we needed to get out of there. They're actually probably going to have to reach it with a boom truck from Columbia Avenue to get it down, at least initially, because it's real difficult to get in there, the thing. So that was, those were kind of some special trees. We wanted to be able to take care of them and make sure before it got, too out of hand and hopefully didn't cause any damage in any of those spots.
Okay, no, I was just wondering about Dave's in general. I mean, are they the go-to tree service?
They were awarded a contract at the council level probably 2 months ago for the town. I'm not sure from that perspective,
Yeah.
but I know that was in a council meeting.
I think they have like a yearly bid for the town and they're the main guy.
And
Okay.
I'll tell you this, Dave, we use Dave's on the Little Cal a lot just because they're pretty responsive and pretty reasonable priced.
And
Um,
local.
Yeah, they just get on, I mean, for us, they just get on the stuff immediately. It doesn't, no pun intended, hang around.
Yeah. And I think they're the ones that have the contract for the big storms and they come in and take care of all the debris and trees that are down.
Okay, I know there was a history some
Yeah.
issues in
Yeah.
the past. That's why I was wondering.
There
There was.
was, but he's straightening up.
Mark, I have one more question. In regards to the revenue loss, obviously because of this COVID issue, and the programs that we had a revenue loss, how does that affect next year's budget? And does
Well, we
anything
put-
have to be cut?
We put through a pretty similar budget. Dustin did our budget before I came to work here and submitted that. So, but it's pretty similar to what this year's budget was. And we really didn't have, even though there were some substantial misses as far as the revenue projections for this year, I'd say. We're,
Right.
you know, based upon my conversations with folks in the clerk treasurer's office, that we felt comfortable. There was never a big time that we had to go and make massive cuts to our budget this year. So I think from that perspective, you know, there must be enough of a comfort level there. I still,
Okay.
I'm learning that for sure, but you know, we've never really had a time in talking to our staff that you know, the clerk's office has never come to us and said, hey, cut 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, anything like that out of our budget this year. So we've had that flexibility. Now, of course, the revenues weren't there, but some of our expenses weren't there as well because of
That's true.
recreation programs,
true.
day camps. We didn't have all that staff for day camps, so you know there's an area there that we saved some money. So there were some hit and misses, and then of course later in the year, particularly like at the golf course, obviously it helped them with the amount of golf that they're having to make up a little bit of the negative on the banquet side for Centennial out there. Which, by the way, they this year to date, and this was as of last week at least, before the governor's most recent announcement, they had 29 canceled events at Centennial. 22 of them were postponed. So just as a you know perspective there, obviously they had a revenue loss of 164,000 and about another 10,000.
Right, I saw that.
So that is something that Andrew at the golf course has mentioned to me, and I asked him this afternoon to try to put together some projections. I do anticipate that they'll probably be having to come to us again, like they did to you guys earlier or in this year, for some additional support financially, just because they won't have the revenues, I think, to make through the winter time when golf is no longer in session, especially if the banquets do stay at this lower level and they're not able to have the larger scale ones where they can bring in the large scale revenue for themselves.
And that's pursuant to the contract we have with them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then other than that, my only other thing, just again at the golf course, they're doing their typical seasonal maintenance, aerations, and the typical stuff that they do at this time of year. So other than that really wraps up our report.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
Oh.
We'll move on to the Walk in the Woods event report. Same thing or just?
I'll just elaborate a little bit on it since I know we spoke about it at the last meeting, but we had over 1,100 in attendance, and that did not include any of those 2 and under, as we allowed them in free. So we probably had close to at least 1,300, which is way more than what we ever anticipated. We had over 150 pumpkins carved by local groups, businesses, residents, and by staff itself to go ahead and illuminate the walkway. Our main sponsor was Community Healthcare Systems. We worked with Munster High School to have over 16 volunteers for that event, pushing through the groups. We received a lot of positive feedback regarding everything, and it was like the perfect social distancing Halloween activity that we could have probably done out there. And not to mention, we had gorgeous weather.
Yes, we did have gorgeous weather.
We could use more of that.
Yes. Starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Any questions for Jill?
On here.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the items for discussion segment of the program here, and we'll do the release and indemnity forms, which Dave probably crafted himself, right?
This is too short and sweet for me. I mean,
No, it's perfect. We're
even
not,
if you billed by the word, you couldn't make any money off of this.
I have a comment on that one, but I'll leave that one alone.
Well, Mr. President, in your packet, you have a memo from me. I did ask Attorney Wickland to review this. This was based off of our current waiver and of release that was in our brochures that we have as part of the registration form on that page in that brochure. I did share with him a different, much longer one from another agency that'll go nameless, or you can guess since it was supplied by me to him, where that came from. So this is what he did. He understood where we were going. We, trying to keep it as short and condensed as possible, but included in our brochure. So we're not printing a whole page of a form there. So this is a release and indemnity form that just bring it to you. It did get edited slightly from the previous one. So that's why I wanted to bring it to you and ask for your, make the recommendation to you and seeking your approval of this as our new form. Moving forward.
Hey, it's okay with me. I mean,
I'll defer to the attorneys here.
you
Two
know,
of them?
Same.
I think it's, I think it's fine.
To the
It's-
elder, I'll defer to the elder attorney.
Oh, thanks a lot. I mean, and let's face it, I don't know what the word is, but from a realistic standpoint, the odds of this ever coming into play are pretty small. So it gets the point across, and it's certainly not written in legalese, so it's okay with me.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
if we were, IBM or somebody like that, then it would be pages long and there'd be all kinds of little things here and there.
Oh.
For what, what our purpose is, this is fine.
So the motion was made by Dave and seconded by Ron that we approve
Oh,
the,
geez, now wait a minute. You mean to tell me, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that two lawyers moved for this?
yeah, exactly. That's the way I see it from my position.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here as a.
Let's make sure the
I'm here
record
as
is
a
real
park
clear on
board.
that, huh?
I'm here.
What other
Park board
position is there?
member.
Say again?
I only
I
asked
move-
what other position there was besides the lawyer's
I move we,
positions.
I'm sorry, I cut.
That's okay.
So I'm getting cut off a little bit. I didn't,
That's all right. We got the motion.
all right.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So we now have that. I'll be happy when the Zoom age is over and we can make fun of each other in actual person.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I don't think that's on the horizon
We're getting the
Oh.
vaccine.
just yet. Things seem to be
Neither-
getting worse,
neither-
not better.
And neither is the Bears offense. So it's either way.
That's true.
If
Doesn't
you
matter.
guys want to watch some football, you gotta tune into the Packers. I mean, that's just the way it is. We have a quarterback.
See, now we have to adjourn.
Well, I don't hear Robin talking about the Dallas Cowboys. She's quiet.
You see my title, my husband's Vikings.
Oh,
He's a Minnesota boy.
oh,
I know.
no wonder
Well,
you're
the Bears
so
did do a
happy
good job of
today.
stopping the running back. I mean,
Ugh. I shouldn't have brought it up. That's my fault.
all right, are we well over the shortest?
Yeah,
meeting? So I move we
we're in your territory now. This is way drawn out.
I
All
move
right,
we
so
adjourn.
I'll second it.
it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone, and
You
stay safe.
too.
Yep,
You too.
stay safe. See you guys.
Good seeing ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I should